So I'm just saying, like, I can use the right mechanics of like expressing my feelings, expressing my needs, but because I'm dysregulated, I'm irritated and annoyed. In a way, it's kind of like I'm vomiting on Summer, right? I'm in a way emotionally dumping on her. Now, if she's skillful, she can like withstand that jab into her body, and I'll ask her how that lands for her. But then for some people, that created awareness for me is like, wow, that's great, because that even surprised me, because that's great for them because they now have clarity of what I'm feeling and needing, right? Because now I'm expressing it, where before they never had that clarity. But what we're sharing here is taking it a bit further, taking it a bit further from vomiting to containment, and we'll share more about that. But I want to ask you, Summer, like, how's that land in you? Like, if I were to come up to you and be like, man, I'm so annoyed right now. I'm needing cleanliness, and I really need your support to clean up the kitchen right now. How's that land in your body as I express it in that way?
Well, as you just said it now, it actually landed okay. And I want to backtrack a little bit because we had some people in our class yesterday, and they were like, "Wow, like if I had a partner and a man who told me what they're feeling and what they're needing, that'd be fantastic." But when there's a real aggression to it, and I might invite you
Mm.
to maybe put a bit more as if you're really in saboteur mode and it's driving you absolutely insane. When there's so much clutter, there's anxiety, and throw that out there as a example if you can conjure that in your own being right now.
Yeah, like right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I'm just imagining my saboteurs driving the bus and I'm hijacked and just fresh off, and I just be like, babe, I'm just really irritated right now because I'm really looking around and it's messy, and I need some order, and I need your support to help me clean right now.
Okay. And that isn't as bad as sometimes I've experienced. Like we can tell when people are hijacked by the intonation in their voice, the
Mm.
expression on their face, and more importantly, how it lands in my body. Like Andre was saying, the jab to your body. Energetically, our speaking and our communication has not only words, sound, intonation, but it also lands in the body. And so aggravation, anger, and primarily judgment. And 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 if we're coming to conscious communication with a judgment first and going, oh man, they're just so freaking messy and they never do any work. But I know that's not conscious communication. And I'm going to say, hey, this is really messy and I need your help. But behind it is oh, they're just a messy person and they never, that can be felt.
Mhm. Like, I'm judging you. Like, I'm
Y-
judging you to be messy, you know?
Yeah.
I'm
And
judging you as the cause of why I'm feeling irritated, even though I'm using the mechanics of conscious
yeah,
communication.
yes. And so a lot of people can hide behind the words. And that's where it gets really confusing for people because there's something different that they can feel in their body. And that's where empaths can get really confused, especially if people are protecting themselves and not sharing how they're actually feeling. And some of us don't even know. Some of us won't know that, oh, for example, Andre, and tell me if this lands for you. I don't know if it does. If it's not, if there's not a lot of order, there's an anxiety that arises, and maybe an anxiety about feeling loved or feeling competent, something that's really key to your own internal self-regulation. And I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of your regulation, your feeling well in your body. And if there's an invitation to that, I'm like all over it. And if there's an invitation to do it with you and there's teamwork and mutuality, I'm so excited.
Mhm.
But if there's a slight suggestion that I don't have a choice,
Mm.
like you have to help me and you're just messy and this is all about you and I I I either want to slink away and half-ass do it because I'm not really have a choice, and that goes back to when people feel that there's a demand in the air, they're either going to submit or they're going to rebel. And I'm more of a rebeller than a submitter usually. Um, but what comes out of that is resentment, and so we're not actually communicating then. We think we're communicating. Well, I guess we are. We're communicating judgments, but we're not getting what we really want, which is the connection, which is the understanding out of it. And so I'm going to feed that back to you to maybe clarify what I'm saying, because I'm not sure if I'm making sense with what I've just said. Can you?
Yeah, I think one thing I got from what you're sharing is
Yeah.
choice,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's a key piece because when I can imagine when someone's expressing their anger with me and asking me what to do, immediately it brings me back to as a child, and I would submit. My default would be to submit because growing up I would be beat, and it's like I was afraid of my parents, and so I didn't have a choice, even though I have a choice. It's just that I was afraid of the consequences if I'd said no. So in that case where someone was angry at me and asking me what to do, my default would be to do it anyways because I fear what would happen if I'd said no. And right
Yeah.
away, that gives off a demand energy and that removes autonomy and choice. So if I reflect that back to you, me expressing my anger around the cleanliness of the house, there's a part of me that knows that I'm giving this demand energy because what if you did say no? What if you didn't agree? And I'm angry and irritated. Most likely, I'd be more angry and irritated. I would raise my voice more. I would storm off. I would think you wouldn't have my back. I would be judging you, right? And so that doesn't leave you with a choice in a way because um, it's how I respond, right? How I react to how you say no. So the key piece with conscious communication is how do I communicate my request from a place of request energy, invitation energy versus demand energy. And I know that when I'm dysregulated and I communicate from that place, the other person, if they're a people pleaser, can easily submit to that energy. Or if not, they can rebel, right? And that just leaves more of a hard landing for us to deal with. So it's also on me to come to you from a place of more regulated state, right? To come with containment. And this is what I'm talking about, containment. And before I get into it, yeah, Giselle, like totally. I agree with you. Like being with being with those that may not have the conscious communication skills is a lot more difficult and more challenging than speaking to someone that has shares the same language, right? And we'll touch on that too, because at our intro class, someone asked, what would you do when someone doesn't speak this language? How can we impact the field? And we can. And Angeline, thank you for commenting. We do see your comment. Um, awesome. Yeah, we do see it. Hello, Halo. Yeah. So containment is what I mean by like if I'm expressing my anger at times, like now I come from a place where I love all my feelings. Where before like I judge sadness, I judge anger, right? I'm like, oh, I only want to feel good feelings. These are bad feelings. But because feelings are my internal guidance system, feelings are what have given me to me by source, God, and the universe. I want to give space for them all, right? So
Can I
now I
there?
express, yeah.
Just because in my mind I'm a little confused, and so I think because containment can kind of look like repression in a way. And at the same time, you're saying I do want to give room and space. And so room and space seems like the opposite to containment at the same time. And so,
No, yeah, I haven't explained the containment piece yet. That's why. Yeah. So, when I speak about containment, it's important to know what the context is in regards to containment. So when I express my anger, it's like, am I spilling this anger onto Summer, onto someone else, or is it within my field? So what I mean by containment is I'm angry, but I got this. It's not like uncontrollable rage where I'm throwing things, I'm smashing, my computer, I'm slamming the door, I'm walking around, stomping around the floor, and you can hear that I'm angry. Or I'm washing dishes and I'm making loud noises, right? It's just that I'm angry right now, but I got this. I can handle this. So that's containment, right? And as a nice guy, as a people pleaser, growing up, I have low tolerance for intensity. That as soon as I register intensity from someone or in my body, I collapse, right? I people please. I want to fix it. And so I'm hijacked. So how can I be with the intensity of someone without collapsing, without running away, without fighting back? And containment is like, I can breathe into this. I have the capacity to deal with this intense emotion without losing control, right? Without letting my emotions run me. So when I can come to Summer and express my irritation and anger from a place of containment, I'm not spilling it over to her. It's like it's coming from a place of, hey babe, I'm feeling irritated right now. I can even be playful with it because it's a bit softer in my body, right? There's times where you hear my voice, my intonation. I always use a high pitch, like I'm kind of angry right now, versus I'm angry right now, right? And I do this because it's softer. I create a softer landing, and I know I can have that, right? So I'm like, I'm angry right now, and just curious, like, would you be open to supporting me with cleaning up the dishes and cleaning up this? You know? So I'm not spilling that over. So that's the difference between emotionally vomiting or dumping is I'm doing it unconsciously versus consciously, and I'm creating like a safe bucket for it.
Safe bucket. Like it. Um,
You know?
what do we got a comment there? That'd be interesting. Can you read that out there, Dre? I
Yeah.
can't actually see it
Yeah.
from
I,
where
I
I am.
recently had an experience where I expressed my feelings and needs and did not use the request part of communication. And it felt demanding, like you have to take care of my feelings. Yeah, good point. Like let's say, for example, I express my feelings without the need, right? I say, I'm feeling angry right now. The other person would be confused. Most likely, if Summer said she was feeling sad and I wasn't aware of this, I would probably want to fix it.
Mhm.
Or I'd be so confused that I don't even know what to do, right? So I'll do nothing. So it's helpful to add the need, right?
Definitely. Yeah. In fact, Marshall Rosenberg says without the need, it rarely lands well. People have to have an
Mm,
understanding of what the other person needs because the actual definition of a need is that they're words that describe the life serving energy that motivates and sustains us. And that is the same for everybody.